I typically have meals spread out through the day. So I'll have um, about a cup and a half of jasmine brown rice, along with an 8-ounce chicken breast, and I'll split that up between my break in the morning and my break in the afternoon. And then I'll also have something similar. So 8 ounces of chicken breast, 8 ounces of ground turkey, with about a cup and a half of brown rice for lunch as well. So, and then come dinner time, post-workout, because I work out after work. So post-workout, I'll have 2 scoops of Level 1, which is by First Form. It's the shit. I love it. I guarantee you will not find another shake that after you shake that shit in a shaker bottle will come out with that same consistency. It's like legitimately a shake, and it tastes good. I got this last time I got the ice cream sandwich flavor. Man, it's good. I think I know the product label says something about deliciousness on there, and they're not joking. It's a good time. So I'll have 2 scoops of that, and it's also considered a meal replacement shake. It's not a whey isolate or hydrolyzed, so it does have, I believe, 24 grams of protein in it. So it'll do me good until I can get home and have a legitimate meal. Which I work. Currently, I'm working 2 jobs, so I deliver for. I run delivery for Uber Eats also in the evening. So post-workout, I'll have that shake. That way I can go do my thing for a couple hours and then come back home and actually have a full meal. I try to get, that 40 grams of protein in, plus about 30 grams of carbs post-workout. So sometimes I'll either eat like a protein bar, or I'll just drink some Gatorade post-workout to get those carbs back in my system, replenish the glucose that I had used up during my workout. So I work out about an hour, anywhere between an hour and a half on 5 days a week. The other 2 days a week, I try to do, some sort of cardio. I've actually been doing a lot of HIIT cardio recently. It's very efficient on time, and I personally feel that there are more benefits to HIIT cardio than steady state cardio. Not knocking steady state cardio, because I do mix them throughout my week. I do maybe a couple days of HIIT and then 1 or 2 days of steady state, but that's another subject for another day. So yeah, as far as my diet goes, when I get home is when I enjoy my food. Okay. All this shit about don't eat carbs after 6 p.m. and all that crap, that's crazy talk, man. That's crazy talk. You're going to lose fat regardless if you're in a calorie deficit. So the timing, there is such thing as the timing of your meals and, when you should eat certain foods, but it's crazy to say that you shouldn't eat carbs after 6 o'clock. I used to say shit like that, but then I did enough research that I found that there wasn't any, I wouldn't say any, but there isn't much of a difference, if any. And it's the same with cardio too. I used to do fasted cardio and prayed up and down it should be the way to go, and that's the way I want to do it. It doesn't really matter. You get your cardio in throughout the day, it's still the same benefits. So yeah, when I get home, I'll have whatever's at home for dinner, or I'll make myself something, quick and easy. But either way, I use that last meal that I have throughout the day to almost reward myself for everything. I'm not saying that I'm going to go eat a big greasy burger or have a whole fucking pizza to myself. That's not the case, but I do allow myself to have more options, to be able to look in the fridge and not have to stare directly at the fucking chicken breast that's in there, or not have to resort to a couple cans of tuna. I allow myself to eat. So if I get home and my brother's got food cooked up, because I do live with him, if he's got food cooked up for dinner already, 9 times out of 10 I'll eat that shit. It's still, it still fits my consistency level because of what I've been eating all goddamn day, right? So I saw this post online about the 80-20 rule when it comes to nutrition. 80-20 rule for me is, 80% nutrition, 20% in the gym. That's how I've always thought of it, because like if you're not eating proper foods, all that goddamn work in the gym is almost pointless, because you're either just going to get fat, or if you're not, eating enough and you're trying to gain lean mass, for example, you're not going to grow. And the other way around, you could be working your ass off in the gym, but if you're not at a calorie deficit, then fucking oh well, because you're not going to be losing any weight. You're just going to stay stagnant. So I saw again, back to this shit. I saw this post online about the 80-20 rule, where it's talking about the consistency of foods that you eat, right? Like 80% of your diet has to be, or should be, what's considered, clean or healthy eating, where you have your complex carbs, where you have your protein, and there is, fast and slow digesting protein as well. But, clean protein and as lean as protein in general. And then, your veggies and whatnot, your fruits and veggies and whatnot for your micronutrients. But yeah, and then 20% of the time, you can eat the good stuff, You can have a small bag of M&Ms. You can have a Snickers bar from time to time. But it is all about consistency and building the habits. Right? Building those habits is what keeps you going as far as the lifestyle change goes, right? It's not just, how do you say this? It's not just going and eating super clean for a short amount of time and then all of a sudden regressing back to the shitty lifestyle or the shitty diet, shitty nutrition that you had prior to your diet. Because it's so much easier to fall back into that shit, right? So it's so much easier. And that's why people do it, because it's easier. Instead of having to make their own food, right? They can just stop by fucking McDonald's or Burger King and pay, $6 or $7 for a burger and some fries and a soda. And it's done. It doesn't taste half bad, I guess. But yeah, man, I still eat, I eat primarily Wendy's, because they're 100% beef. I know McDonald's slapped that shit on their burgers too, saying it was 100% beef, but knowing McDonald's, who really knows, But yeah, I mean, I still, every time I go to Wendy's, got a couple options. I either have a chicken sandwich of some sort, a chicken salad, or a fucking triple, like Dave's triple, I think they call it now. So I mean, I leave my options open. And again, I go back to making sure I track my macros. Now, when I have meals like that, I have to be aware of everything else I'm consuming throughout the day. Because if I have a Dave's triple, the fat content in that pretty much kills my fat content for half the day. Right? Right now I'm about, say about 95 grams of fat for the day. And some of that is healthier fat, like the peanut butter, and when I cook my eggs in the morning, I use a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. So there are healthier fats that I mix in. When I'm talking about fat, I'm not just talking about, the bad kind of fat that everybody seems to try to avoid when they diet. There are healthy fats out there. Just don't fucking eat everything that's fucking deep fried, you know? So yeah, I mean, in an overall sense of what I'm talking about here, I'm trying to approach everything in a way that it'll change more lives than not, right? So when I'm throwing all this shit out here that I'm talking about, and to me, keeping track of your macros is key to all this. That way, you kind of have certain guidelines throughout the process of flexible dieting. So yeah, I mean, like I said, when I approach this, I try to do it in a sense that I'm trying to improve someone's life for the better, not necessarily in the way that, like, hey, I'm building, when people approach me and, like, they pay for that 4 or 8 week program. It's not just for that time where I'm like, okay, you have to go super clean for the next 2 fucking months. And then, they make a bunch of progress, and then all of a sudden, the program's over, and they go back to eating the bullshit and all the processed foods and all the sugars that they used to do, and everything gets thrown out the window. It's a lifestyle change, and I try to teach people about the tracking portion, because it is the easiest. It's the easiest way for me to be able to still have your options, still live your life, and still enjoy, some of the foods that you do, but at the same time get healthier and also not fuck up everything that you're doing in the gym, So, yeah, I mean, biggest takeaways here is try to learn to track your macronutrients if at all possible. You can, like I said, you can clean eat if you want. You can go down the clean eating route. But just make sure it's for you, Try it out for some time. If it doesn't work out for you, make those adjustments, adjust and make sure you're approaching the nutrition part to be able to change your life in a positive manner. Not just the next few months, not just the next, few weeks, months, or, not just the next year. Make sure you're doing this to be able to change your life, because after some time, you're going to end up building this habit, right? And it's either going to make you happy or piss you the fuck off, because flexible dieting, to me, keeps me happy. I get to eat healthy foods, I eat the healthier foods to keep my body, in good shape all year long. And I also make sure that I enjoy myself. I don't have to always, which I do sometimes, but I don't always have to look at the quote-unquote healthier side of the menu every time I go out, to dinner. If I know I'm going out to dinner, say if I was going out to dinner tonight, throughout the day, I make sure to adjust my other meals to accommodate that. So again, make sure this is whichever approach you choose to go by. And I mostly spoke about flexible dieting because clean eating is such a simple approach where, most people tend to eat the same thing over and over again. And it's not easy to understand what the healthier foods are, right? You eat veggies, you eat complex carbs, you eat, lean meats. But at the same time, you also do that with flexible dieting. You just make sure to give yourself options to be happy and enjoy your life. Because you don't want to be that fucking douchebag that, friends invite you out to go dinner. You go to dinner and you whip out your fucking Tupperware, or you just kind of sit there and drink water and then wait till you get home because, you're just there for the social aspect. Like, don't be that fucking idiot. Make sure you can approach this, approach it. You're trying to change your life, you're trying to make yourself better in general. This isn't about short term. This is about long term, It was about a long-term approach to a healthier you and a better you. So to think that we're going to be